Today I'll show you my top 5 favorite Ferrum Forge knives. And hey, I know what you're already thinking. Jay, I can't afford one of those. You know what, a couple of years ago, sure, yeah, I would have totally agreed with you. So do this, okay? Stick around for a few minutes. I will prove you wrong. Whether you own a Ferrum Forge knife or not, you always know when you're looking at one of their designs. I mean, kind of the same thing like with Spyderco. Usually they have a really large forward finger choil and a blade that almost looks like it's too big to fit within the handle. And as usual, any knife that you see here in this video, I'll be sure to go ahead and put links to buy down in the description. Hey, how you doing? If this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. My name is Jay. Go ahead and consider clicking on that subscribe if you're looking for knife reviews. But get right to the point. All right, let's get things started with number 5 from Civivi. This is the Odium. This is based on their Archbishop design, and it has all the features that we've known to love from Ferrum Forge, except it comes in a really tiny package. This happens to be their most affordable Ferrum Forge design, and you can get these right around $52. I think we really do get a lot for our money here, like, for instance, the multiple deployment options. You can either use the thumb hole or that flipper tab, and let me try this. You absolutely can Spidey flick that open. And let's not forget about the very generous forward finger choil, so you can see in my medium-sized hands, oh yeah, I can fit all of my fingers on there. So like those of you that maybe have the larger paws, this should work out for you just fine. I know, it looks great, but how does that blade perform? Well, let's see. Wow. Actually, for a little knife, that does cut pretty well. The next thing that I'm about to show you, I did go ahead and point out in a previous top 10 list that I did about my favorite 5th pocket knives, which if you haven't seen that video yet, go ahead and click on the link right there and it'll take you to it. But I really like the fact that they didn't just go ahead and slap on like a regular sized Civivi pocket clip like you see on the Elementum. And lastly, the action is, well, it's a lot better than I expected it to be for a knife this small, because like the smaller knives, it's going to have the lighter blade, so it's not really going to drop shut. This one with a couple shakes can do that. And really, I only have just the one minor issue about this knife, and I just think that it was a big mistake to not go ahead and put a lanyard hole on here, because I could totally see, a lot of you just taking the clip off and just dropping it right in the pocket. Lanyard would have been great. At number 4, I have a knife that I think is probably one of the most popular on this list, and that, of course, being the Gent. Now, we get great action in both directions. I mean, this is really difficult for me to fail, and watch this. Oh, I mean, that was a couple light shakes, and you saw that baby just like drop close. That's because we have a very strong detent, ball bearing pivot. I mean, and it's made out of like just really nice materials, carbon fiber, titanium, and yes, the S35 VN blade. A couple of my favorite features here. The first one being the blade. I just love this stonewash finish that they put on here, and I can fit, without using that forward finger choil, I can fit all of my fingers on this. It's about a 3.8 inch handle, and then when you go ahead and choke up by using the choil, look at that. I even got a little bit of room left over, so that's going to fit those of you with the bigger hands. Let's go ahead and really quick just test out how well that thicker blade stock. Ooh, wow. Now, when I mean thicker, I just mean for a knife of this size. And lastly, the pocket clip, which, yes, it is a 2-position, deep carry, lefty love, and I really do like it. I know a lot. It's been a source of a little bit of controversy, since it looks like it's a clip for like a ballpoint pen, and I kind of appreciate that it makes it look discreet in that way. My only issue here with the Gent is going to be, do you notice something that is missing? Yeah, to get at that pivot screw, you have to go ahead and take off You have to take off the scales if you want to make any kind of like adjustments to the action or centering. And not that it's a huge deal, it's just more of an annoyance than anything else. At number 3, I've got, this is the newest knife on the list, and it's the Stinger. If you're someone that loves the Gent, but you wish it was a little bit bigger with a thinner handle, here you go. This is the third least expensive Ferrum Forge design, coming in right around $90. And check out that flipper tab. They did such a good job at minimizing the size of it. And the fuller here, it gives us a second deployment option. So you can go ahead and use it, and you can absolutely Spidey flick it. And a really nice attention to detail is that they left the top edge of the fuller, they left it sharp. What that does is makes it a little bit easier, so you can go ahead and like catch your thumb on there to slow roll it open. Nice action in both directions, so it's a good, well dialed in detent. And then on the close, yeah, a couple shakes and she does drop shut. And it's even been, I'm noticing it's improving the more I handle it. They also gave us a fairly thin blade stock, which should, oh my, cut good. And, oh yes, it does. Very nice. Oh, and the steel, I don't know if I mentioned that. It's the Nitro V, which you don't really see a lot of nowadays. My only complaint here with the Stinger is going to be regarding the pocket clip. I mean, the size, I absolutely love, but it's just a one position clip. Yep, righties only. Number 2 is going to be the drop collaboration. This is the Crux. I can honestly say that this is a Ferrum Forge knife that will never leave my collection. I mean, that's how much I do like it. And when these were available, they retailed on drop for, I think it was like around $125, $130, which at the time, incredible value for a Ferrum Forge design. Oh, and the action, very, very good. But I gotta confess, it wasn't like this right out of the box. It did take some little bit of breaking in, and I love this blade to handle ratio. I mean, they fit a 3.4 inch S35 VN blade into a 4.2 inch handle. Very impressive. A lot of times when you have a blade with a 4mm thickness like this one does, sometimes there's a sacrifice with the cutting ability. Well, let me go ahead and put that rumor to bed. Yes. Oh, that cuts nice. Now, as a lefty, I don't normally put the pocket clip in the left-handed configuration, but here on the Crux, this is one of the few knives where I actually do, and it's because of that. That's a pretty big flipper tab, so if it happens to open up in my pocket, it's going to open up towards the back of it instead of like lopping off a finger. All right, you ready to see my number 1 favorite Ferrum Forge knife? This is the big, beautiful Mordex. So why did I go with this one? Well, I got a couple of reasons. First, this is USA made. Yeah, it's actually made by ProTech, sold by Drop, designed by Ferrum Forge. I know that's a mouthful. Beautiful 20 CV drop point blade with a really nice, generous sized forward finger choil. And as expected, that action is fantastic. This knife is such a good time. It normally just has the one deployment option with the flipper tab, but I went ahead and just I slapped on another one of those quick thumb studs. Yeah, I know I have a problem. I need to get counseling, but I like having the multiple deployment options. Now, I normally really like a thicker blade stock, but I appreciate their decision. Go ahead and keep this right around 3.15 millimeters thick. And they did that for the sake of slicing performance, which, wow. Yeah, that definitely helped. two dislikes that I have. The first one is with, yeah, you see that button that controls the plunge lock. Well, it's smooth. I know a lot of button lock knives, they like to put some kind of texture on there, and I finally realized why. Well, yes, to help improve that traction, but it helps to locate the button. So like for a lefty like myself, when I have to use my index finger, where for righties you would use your thumb to press on that button. Well, I have a really hard time like figuring out where that button is because it just feels like the rest of the scales. And lastly, the pocket clip. It is a nice deep carry, but we only get, yeah, just for righties, no lefty love. And I wouldn't mind having it since this has a good sized flipper tab. All right, well, I've shown you mine, so let's see yours. It's your turn. What are some of your favorite Ferrum Forge knives? Go ahead and list many as you possibly can down in the comment section. All right, up on the screen, you should be looking at two videos. One is a video of mine that YouTube is going to recommend that you should watch next. The other is going to be a link to my playlist, which has all of my other top 10 list videos on it. Lots of good stuff. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by just leaving one of these. And don't forget to go ahead and click on subscribe. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Love you guys. I'll see you at the next video. Take care. See ya.